way that you live today.
What's up, posers? We're at the Nixa Junior High track right now. Just thinking about getting a little sesh on this four-stair real quick. But before that, actually a pretty historic thing for Nixa happened here in the BMX community. Woo! Yeah! That thing was insane. I'll put his Instagram somewhere on the screen. Today I'm just going to be doing a video on some things that I personally wish that I knew when I first started skating. But first, let's get warmed up.
Other superstardom, whoever thought it'd be a problem coming through Harlem. Can't even chill, cats
I'd totally try to hit this rail if it didn't have this little kink right there.
I got to contemplate killing. Nobody love me, I'm my own mister. And on my own mister. Mama did what she could, but now I'm grown mister. Though she told me once, wish she told me then. Though I'm the youngest, I'ma grow to be the oldest man. And cats thinking they gon' win cause they veterans ain't about.
Okay, we're gonna start with the bad first. The first thing I wish I knew about skateboarding is how much money it costed. It's not an absurd amount. You can get by with everything you need for a relatively low price. But right now my shoes are thrashed and I just spent $200 on this brand new complete. Now not all completes are that expensive. I have some special stuff that makes it a little bit more expensive, and I do all this fancy grip tape stuff which adds a little bit to the price. But I'd say you could get pretty good boards for anywhere from 100 to 160 bucks and you'll be fine. But skate shoes, depending on the level of skating you're at, can go fairly quickly. Now, the more I've been skating, the faster they go. When I first started skating, a pair of shoes would last me like months on end. But see, these shoes I've had for 2 or 3 months and they're thrashed. But the way you can fix these problems to distribute the money a little bit more is there's something called shoe goo, which works amazing. And couple that with some duct tape and your shoes can almost be doubled in their lifespan. With your board, avoid throwing it in anger, avoid getting it wet, and really I suppose that's it. I'd say the second thing is that I wish that I knew in the beginning that there is a certain way to fall. I know that might sound a little funny, but there are certain circumstances where even hitting a rock can send you to the hospital just by breaking your wrist or cracking your head on the ground. If you're starting to fall backwards, if you're on flat ground or in the streets, the best situation is to do a backwards somersault, just to roll over your back, put your feet right on the ground, and a lot of the time, I end up landing right back on my feet. The same kind of goes for falling frontwards. You just want to push yourself into a frontward somersault and a lot of the time landing back on your feet. Now if you slide out, so where you're going forwards but falling backwards, I'd say that the best scenario is to do kind of a baseball slide in that scenario, just to avoid you cracking your head on the back of the ground. Also, it's not a way to fall, but just be careful skating in the rain. One of the 2 or 3 times I've ever hit my head and it hurt pretty bad was because I was bombing a hill in the middle of the rain. I hope you knew that and you were smarter than me though. Number 3 would be that skateboarding does not have rules. There are different forms of skateboarding which are almost like different languages. There's transition, which has got your ramps and vert dudes. You got street, which is what most people are used to, just going around ollieing stairs, which is mainly what I do. And then you got freestyle, which is really anything on flat ground. I've had many people tell me that my tricks don't count or they just aren't tricks just because I do them untraditionally. Like this one. At the end of the day, there's no useful component of skateboarding. It's all tricks just to look cool. So do whatever style you like. If you like no complies, do no complies. If you want to boneless a 5-stair while everyone else is trying to kickflip it, then you do you, man. Instead of doing tricks, if you want to air as high as you can out of a bowl, then more power to you. There are really no rules to skateboarding, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, as long as you're having fun and doing your own thing. Unless you push Mongo, then... Rule number 4. Rule number 4 would be to support any local skate shops you can, and if there aren't any near you, to order online. Skateboarding has kind of become a mainstream trend. Especially with it being in the Olympics and Azumi's in practically every mall in America, it makes it hard for some small skate shops to make their earnings. So if you can, try and help out local skate shops and buy stuff there instead of from Zoomies or Tony Hawk or something. Oh, and don't get a Walmart board. I'd say for the last thing, to get better, you have to understand what's happening. If you consistently can't land your kickflips after trying over and over again, then most likely you're doing something wrong. And that's okay, you just need to figure out, where am I popping wrong? Where am I flicking wrong? Am I holding my shoulders too offset from the board? You have to know what's happening. And I would say that the way to fix that is to watch tons of skateboard videos. Just anytime you can, watch something on Thrasher, your friend's skate clips or whatever. Just anything of someone who's better than you. Watch what they're doing and find what's happening different with yours. And in real life, if you're skating in the streets and you run into some people skating, or if you're at a skate park and you see someone who's light years ahead of you, throwing down trays and everything down stair sets first try, just whatever, someone who's light years ahead of you, don't be scared to talk to him. Go up to that dude and ask for advice. Most of the time, skateboarders to other skateboarders, they're pretty nice and relaxed. I don't know if I've ever met anyone that I would consider a good skater who was mean. If you're just sitting there rolling around and you don't know how to ollie, you go up to a guy who just did some huge trick, it shows that you appreciated the time and effort that he's put into it, and it makes them remember, hey, we came from the same place. I used to be right there where you are. Well, posers, those were my 5 things that I wish I knew before I started skating. I'm going to try and get a kickflip on this, and maybe, if I can, ollie a 5-stair over there. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Keep skating.
Thank you.